want to be like them. That's the consequences, the choice.
Yeah.
But then society is being destroyed
Yeah.
by these consequences.
Yeah.
And how do you educate them from saying no to crystal meth? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People
Well, the thing is that it can look to some people like a choice. I use this term that it's choices that don't feel like choices. You know, people make choices that to some people looks like a choice, to others it doesn't feel like a choice. You know, I remember talking to a guy. He was this gang member in LA, spent most of his life in jail, and then suddenly got out of gang life. And I said to him, well, what made you decide to make a change? And he said, I always wanted to make a change. I just never thought I could. The only thing I know how to do is use drugs, sell drugs, get caught, go to jail, come back out, do the same thing. So when I come out of prison, I got to eat. I only know how to do one thing. And I thought that's the only life for me. And then somebody came along and said, actually, I've got another path you could take over here.
Never mind your old friends.
And he took the path, right? So some people, it's like we might look at it as saying, why do you keep making those choices? And he said to me, I just didn't think I had a choice. That was the path. So sometimes you got to look at it that way and realize that they don't feel like choices.
And bring a horse to water. Yeah, the whole story.
Yeah.
You mentioned here on the news media, the only thing I heard, a wheelchair accessible. We got some physical handicapped people in there.
Yeah, so 20% of the houses are going to be accessible, and so we had our first one move in, and we have two now. Two houses. One's occupied, the other one's not quite finished, and so they won't necessarily all be people in wheelchairs. They're capable of handling people in wheelchairs, but it could be people with other mobility issues that need special adaptation.
Where do they wash their clothes?
So our social enterprise center, which isn't built yet, but we'll have community members laundry. Yeah.
So how come that you were in the media all week? What was that? Because this was planned before the media and all that. I was surprised. What was the occasion? I gotta go there and read it again.
Yeah, the media have just been following the story, and like you, the CBC was like, "Oh, it's been a year. How's it going?"
Oh, okay.
And so it was kind of a catch up.
So when you get home, 3-4 beer?
I actually don't drink at all. I used to though.
Okay.
No,
okay.
I'm
So what do you do?
I don't do meth.
Marijuana?
No.
It's legal. There's no
I
problem.
I know.
Well,
You know what? I used to like a good craft beer, and I still do.
of course.
But I save my beer calories preciously, because you know what? It's now classified as a Class A carcinogenic now.
What's that?
Cancer causing.
Cancer causing.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell
So
you.
I try to be healthy.
I'm going to tell you something right now. This craft beer, Picaroons or Greystone or whatever, I'm telling you, you're going to see a lot of people are going to lose their liver. And about 10 years from now, you're going to see lots. I mean, it's not like an old Miller Lite or Coors or Molson Canadian. This is heavy stuff. And but the youngs, the youths. Okay, focus, Charles. So we're going the other way. Okay, so I got 16 viewers now.
Okay.
I got one from Red.
Oh, I thought they're not live. This is your canon.
No, 16 viewers that watches my my videos, and the last one was from Redegonish.
Yeah.
I thought they got dial up there. They end up by mistake on my thing. The last week, my 16 viewers. Did I miss anything?
Boy, there's a lot we could talk about.
Go ahead.
I think you got it. What do you think? You talk a lot about downtown.
Oh yeah.
And how you feel things are going and stuff like that. And there's some things you're not happy about.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that.
Well, what happened at downtown? Unfortunately, I've been hanging around here for 19 years. So I've seen ever since I pitched a tent from the legislature for 6 months protesting against Ritland. And look what I was trying to tell the danger of drugs. At downtown, there was no Chancery Place then. And I was surprised when they told me I had a petition. I collected 10,000 signatures to have the government to do a study how our kids are being drugged.
Yeah.
This is 2003. So I collected 300 names. And I told the cleaners that were here, and they said, I haven't been downtown yet.
Yeah.
So what do you mean you haven't been downtown? No, I haven't been downtown. Then they told me this was downtown. I thought being the capital, downtown was somewhere else.
Right.
I said, this is it? 2 streets downtown? So I've been, unfortunately, going around and going around. Thank God I got the job, and walking the bridges and walk. You got to stay healthy. And I seen it was clean.
Yeah.
And then started 3-4 years ago with that so-called doctor, Sarah Davidson, but she opened a recovery center right beside the King Pharmacy across the medical clinic. That's where the trouble started. We see the mess, then the tent started, the destruction of Mother Nature. And there's only 2 streets in Fredericton, and the police did a good job in the spring to stop the tents from being pitched by the river. If it wasn't for them, there would have been about 500 tents this summer. And I see the destruction.
Yeah.
Now, a snob, I see the snob. The snob is bad enough.
Right.
But the crystal men, and they say it's mental illness, and they're screaming on the street.
Yeah.
That bothers me.
Yeah.
And that's a big black eye for the city.
In the on CBC this morning, Information Morning, they covered a bit of a story in Moncton where there's, I think, some groups in Moncton that have been lobbying the government to fund an out of the cold shelter, saying that they now have about 200 people that are living outside.
Yeah.
What do you think about out of the cold shelters? And then I had a group here a few weeks ago from Peterborough, and they're building these little temporary cabins. And
Where?
in Peterborough, Ontario.
Downtown?
I'm not sure where, but my my feeling was that while I get the motivation to try to create a place that's warm, I was encouraging them to say, well, why don't you just go a little further, put bathrooms and kitchens in these things and actually make them livable? Because if I just provide you with a warm box, it's not really a house. Am I really doing much at all? So if you go, okay, I've got, $1 to spend, or $100, or $100,000, or whatever it might be, the government, let's say, and these groups are lobbying, saying, well, we need to put money into an out of the cold. Is that plugging? Do you think we're just kind of plugging holes? Are we getting somewhere?
Oh, we're not getting nowhere. We're absolutely getting nowhere, because the simple reason is right now the cold weather is coming. It all has to do with survival.
Yeah.
And don't forget, you have out of the cold shelter, you have to go by rules.
Yeah.
And these people do not go by rules. And that's why last year, when they had some were suspended from going there for 24 hours, because they say, okay, 9 o'clock, you got to be out of here. So they were forced, big snowstorm, out the door, 9 o'clock, and King's Place, they're barred from there.
Yeah.
And I thought that would say, you know what, I don't want this life. If that's not a wake-up call, nothing is.
Yeah.
So they're going in Moncton and staying over the steering committee. There's some old buildings around. You should redo the old buildings for housing, for us to have a place.